Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well, and salutations to Yakim that puts his word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Coming back with another lesson. Here in the book of Psalm 68 and 30, it reads, "Rebuke the company of spearmen and the multitude of the bulls with the calves of the people, till every one submit himself with pieces of silver. Scatter thou the people that delight in war." Okay, so the Lord, actually that was King David, I believe. Let me see, check it out. King David, yep, Song of David. Yep, King David was saying, scatter thou the people that delight in war. All right, and the nations overall delight in war, as well as in particular Esau, Edom. They delight in war. War is their pastime. The sword being their blessing. Um, Comes with them engaging in war. In order to utilize that blessing that they have, which is the sword, they have to engage in war, which is why the world is in shambles like it is. All right, the entire planet is in shambles because of Esau Edom being in power. All right, let me see. Proverbs 29:2, it says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." All right, so the people's in mourning because you got the wicked being Esau that's in rulership right now, and he's ruling with a hammer. Every problem is a hammer. So that's why you got these various nations that's gathering together to ultimately fight it out. All right, but one thing that was mentioned here in verse 30 of Psalm 68 was that tell everyone submit himself with pieces of silver, because all the heathen, all right, the kings, the elites of the other nations, when a kingdom gets set up, all right, they're going to be bringing all their silver, their gold, their anything that's of value is going to be converted onto us. All right. So that's what King David was saying, that, man, rebuke the company of spearmen, the multitude of bulls, the calves of the people, till everyone submit himself with pieces of silver. Scatter thou the people that delight in war. All right. Jeremiah 51:20 says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." Okay, so the Lord is going to use the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the men of the Lord. We are going to become the battle axes and weapons of war that the Lord is going to use to subdue these kingdoms. All right, to destroy these kingdoms. All right, the same way King David, triumphed over the enemies and pretty much, whooped them into subjection. That's going to happen all over again. And with that, naturally comes, the let me see. Naturally, with that comes, the goodies. All right, the riches. That's the word I'm looking for. Let me see. Is that 10? Yeah. Ecclesiasticus 10:8. It says, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." All right. So the way this earth has been confiscated, Job 9:24, the earth is a given into the hand of the wicked. All right. the way the earth has been confiscated, it was through colonialism, through you know oppression, through thievery, all right, rape, robbery, murder. All right, it wasn't gotten justly. Okay, it was gotten by ill-gotten gains. Okay, so it says because of those things, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, so the Lord is going to use his battle axes and weapons of war, all right, to destroy kingdoms, and that's how the kingdom is going to be translated from the hands of Esau to the nation of Israel. All right. It says, and I will, and with thee, Jeremiah 51:21, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and his maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. All right, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord Yahweh. All right, so everything that Babylon has done, Babylon the Great has done, you know, to the nation of Israel, that's going to be paid back. You know, Esau has to pay for what he's done to the Israelites. Okay, this is 2 Samuel 8:1. It says, and after this it came to pass that David smote the Philistines and subdued them, and David took Metheg-gamma out of the hand of the Philistines, and he smote Moab and measured them with a line, casting them down to the ground. Even with 2 lines measured he to put to death, and with 1 full line to keep alive. And so the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. So David is subduing these kingdoms, or these heathens, via force. Okay, via force. All right, just how we read, scatter those. Here in Psalm 68:30, scatter thou the people that delight in war. These heathens delight in war, and a part of scattering them is through war. You know, all right, and then making them subject to bring in tribute. Okay, so you had the Philistines, and then you had the Moabites. All right, David smote also Hadad-ezer, the son of Rehob, king of Zobah, and he went to recover his border at the river Euphrates. And David took from him 1,000 chariots and 700 horsemen and 20,000 footmen. And David hewed all the chariot horses, but reserved of them for 100 chariots. And when the Syrians of Damascus came to succor Hadad-ezer, king of Zobah, David slew of the Syrians 22,000 men. And David put garrisons in Syria of Damascus, and the Syrians became servants to David and brought gifts, and Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. And David took the shields of gold that were on the servants of Hadad-ezer and brought them to Jerusalem, and from Betah and from Baroth-ai, cities of Hadad-ezer, King David took exceeding much brass. And Toi, king of Hamath, heard that David had smitten all the hosts of Hadad-ezer. Then Toi sent Joram his son unto King David to salute him and to bless him, because he had fought against Hadad-ezer and smitten him. For Hadad-ezer had wars with Toi, and Joram brought with him vessels of silver and vessels of gold and vessels of brass. So when we get back into a position of power, you know, once the Lord destroys Babylon the Great, in the minute of the Lord have that spiritual power, and we're going through the earth to subdue it. All right, subduing kingdoms and putting people in subjection. All right, the heathen. we're gonna have to jack up a lot of the heathen, put a lot of the heathen to death. All right. And at the same time, there's gonna be other heathens that witness that or hear that, and they're gonna willingly, give themselves over. Okay, them and all their possessions. Okay, it says, verse 11. It says, which also King David did dedicate unto Yahweh with the silver and the gold that he dedicated of all nations which he subdued. All right, of Syria and of Moab and of the children of Ammon and of the Philistines and of Amalek and of the spoil of Hadad Ezor, son of Rahab the king, king of Zobah. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men, and put garrisons in Edom throughout all Edom. Put he garrisons, and all they of Edom became David's servants, and the Lord Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. And David reigned over all Israel, and David executed judgment and justice unto all his people. All right, so we're going back to that. We're going back to King David being, over the nation, the king in Israel. All right, let's see. Hold on. Jeremiah 30:9. It says, but they shall serve the Lord Yahweh their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Okay, so in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna have King David over us. He's gonna lead us. All right, that's our king. That's gonna lead us, and that's something that these heathens don't want. Which is why they do what they do. The elites, because they don't want to see King David ruling over us. Because with King David ruling over us, you see the hell he brought on the other nations, those heathens. All right, the Moabites, the Philistines, the Syrians. All right, Ammon. All right, Edom. It's hell and high water for those nations. All right, so, but they can't stop prophecy. Prophecy says that our king is going to be raised unto us again. And with our king being raised unto us, you see the type of hell that is put on these heathens. All right. This is Joel 3:1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right. So these nations are currently being gathered to go down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which Jehoshaphat means Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew, which is the Most High's judgment. All right, Yahweh's judgment. So the reason why you have various countries wanting to join BRICS, the BRICS nations, countries ditching the U.S. dollar, all right, this fiat currency, looking to the China yuan as the reserve currency of the world. They hopping on board with that. That's all leading to these nations gathering in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Saudi Arabia. All right, all the prophecies, all their actions are leading toward them going to the valley of Jehoshaphat, according to prophecy, and them being gathered so that the Lord, as it says, plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the same way it says here, scatter in Psalm 68:30, the latter part, it says, scatter thou the people that delight in war. Well, we've been scattered via these nations loving war. we, the nation of Israel, has been scattered. Okay, 70 A.D. You know, the diaspora. All right, you know, various periods in history, war come to the nation of Israel, and we have to, you know, scatter and get up out of there. All right, so that's going to be a recompense onto these nations, you know, for scattering us. The same thing is going to happen to them, you know. For lack of time, I'm gonna make this real quick. This is Isaiah 60 in verse 60 in verse Salakia. Let's see. Okay, 60 and 10, it says, "And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee." All right, so those same kings that love war and all that is going to minister unto us in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so for you know, I got something to take care of, but Lord willing, that was edifying lesson. Until next time, I say shalom.